birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Oh, you and I, we got it. Oh, we don't need no can weather any storm. Before I sleep, hear the crickets, see the moon. Side by side and through. No limit to what we can do. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Oh, you and I, we got it. Oh, we don't need no more. You and I can weather any storm. You and I, we got it. We don't need no more.
Hello, I'm Joe Fury, and I'm slated to be guest on the show today. But I just wanted to tell you my grievances about the show, because when I'm in the green room, I'm supposed to be taken care of. And I had to bring my own personal assistant to take care of me. There was nothing, there were no donuts, there were no... Boney, apparently, who works on the show, I guess he's the sidekick or something, he says he gets no screen time. He gets no lunch, nothing. So I just want to let people know that the working conditions here at Lunch Therapy have gone to pot. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lunch Therapy.
I'm gonna get myself a modem. 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 I'm gonna get myself a modem.
Hello! I bet you're surprised to see me here today. I am, of course, the abominable Joe Fury. Or maybe I meant abdominal, because I've got the abs. I've got the abs. You know, I was slated to be Jared Leto originally, yes. But I didn't have the abs. So I've been working on them for 30 years now. I've got them. They're ready. They're ready for their close-up. Yes, I was supposed to be Jared Leto. Not that I was going to star in any of his movies or anything. I was supposed to be Jared. I was supposed to be him in life. Something sadly went wrong. Something like that, yes. Pot and lunch therapy smoking. It is a smoking show today because I'm hosting I hosted years ago I hosted this show, and it was a spectacular success. I think it got 41 hits. So lots of people were enjoying it, and now I'm here, I'm back. I'm giving back to the community. And so now what we're going to do, we're going to start the show with some breathing, because that's what Joel always does on the show. He breathes. I haven't breathed since the show started. I haven't drawn a breath. I do it on one breath, all one breath, because that's what they taught us in Shakespeare school. They said you should be able to do every monologue, every play on one breath. Yes. So we spent a lot of time in swimming pools, I'll tell you. Just down there underwater trying to expand our lungs. Expand. Never did a play. Just a lot of breathing. Let's see. Absent. The abs. Yes. Absinthe. Russell Brand. I love Russell Brand. He's got all the fake news you can handle. He just drinks it up. Jump Fallon, Dump Fallon. It's a poem. It's some poetry here. Heather Bly Marshall, so nice to see you. Yes, it's great to have you here. This is Joel Marshall's sister-in-law. Yes, they recently went to Mexico together. Had a ball, from what I understand. They didn't take me. Did not take me. Michael Caine, theory of acting, don't breathe. Michael Caine's very interesting fellow. I had him on the show one time. He left me a voice message. He wasn't really on Joel Marshall's show, but he was on my podcast. My podcast is called In the Thick of It. Yes, Joe Fury's podcast. I interview only alter egos. In the Thick of It. It's not really out yet, but someday it will permeate the membrane of the internet and get out into the metaverse. I have some absinthe straight from Vincent. Absinthe. Oh, I believe, maybe. Absent. She's trying to type absinthe, but she can't do it because the spell checker robot is thwarting her. Come on, Just Jay, you can do it. Let's give Jay a little round of applause, because she has overcome the spell check robots, and she has typed absinthe. Perfect. So anyway, it's time to breathe. That was all in one breath. It's sort of like, you know, when you go see a movie and the opening shot is all in one, I don't know what you call that. One shot? I guess that was sort of not very, I don't know. It just wasn't very impactful the way I said it, because I was going to say, you know, when you go see a movie and the first shot is all in one shot? There we go. Shot. Maybe that's alliteration. Yes, and they don't cut. Like that famous movie, Birdman. Yes, they did a whole sequence. No cutting, or at least seemed like they didn't cut, although I thought they cheated a bit. Absentia. I used to know a girl named Absentia. She's not very fun to have around, tell you. She was very, I don't know, she was on the absinthe. She was doing mushrooms all the time. No one knew what the heck she was doing. Nobody knew. One long uninterrupted take, that's what you might call it. Yes, sort of like this. The opening to lunch therapy, it's sort of like one long, uninterrupted take where we can breathe. So let's do it now. Joel on the show always has 3 breaths at the top of the show, and if I'm helming his show, I better do it too. So, in through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. And let it go. When I take in my breaths, I like my body to rise like a fine loaf of bread in the oven. In through the nose. Hold it. And out through the toes. We had a fine young gentleman on the show last week. Joel talked to him for a while. He seemed very enamored by him. His name was Bronkar Lee. Bronkar Lee. If you haven't seen that episode, you should just see the hell out of it. It's from last Friday, where Joel might be kind of a sycophant, if you know that word. Where he gloms onto somebody and just won't let go and asks them all kinds of questions about how they practice and how they breathe and how they... Todd Lee even wanted to ask him about intermittent fasting. As if Bronkar Lee is knows everything. Doesn't know everything. He's not a guru, like some people I know. 3 breaths, 3 bears. That's right. It's a formula. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. When I was giving you a rash, you see, that's the thing about my voice, is it's trained to be piercing, to pierce through to the soul. And sometimes you have so many toxins in your body, you get a rash because I'm releasing the toxins through your skin, through the sound of my voice. So that's what you're experiencing there, Gnell. Don't worry. It's totally normal. SRO. When I was a child, they had SRO theaters. We would go, and it stood for standing room only. However, I don't know. I think that might be what Chuck is saying here. Standing room only. Let's get some applause. That's what I love about this show. It has built-in applause. You can have as much applause as you want. Joel he has a kind of a lead finger on that, doesn't he? It's too bad we couldn't get the applause from the chat room. I organized my t-shirt drawer and came across my lunch therapy t-shirt. Can I exchange it for a large or an XXL? Yes. Yes, we'll send you another Just Jay. Just Jay is a roving reporter. Today we have a roving reporter. We have a roving reporter that is going to give us just one more piece of Maui in Hawaii. Or as they say in Germany, Hawaii. Aha, Jay, I'm giving my clothes away today too because I've gotten too fat. All of us, at the beginning of the pandemic, which we don't talk about. I just got a super chat. Yes! Soon there will be a dinosaur flashing on the screen saying super chat, super chat, super chat. It's a little slow, however. Thank you very much, Just Jay comedian, for the super chat. You will be getting your lunch therapy t-shirt. All lunch therapy t-shirts are available somewhere on Joel Bounty. Where are they? On joelmarshall.com. There's the dinosaur! Thank you very much. Yes. So, good day. How are you? Everybody's feeling good here today. Wrinkled, but still tivicking. Let's see what Howie says. Favorite Lees. 1, Bronkar. 2, Geddy Lee. Geddy Lee of Rush, of course. And 3, Lee Jeans. 4, Todd Lee. Are they brothers? Bronkar and Todd Lee? I don't know. They might be. Let's see the other one. Bruce Lee, of course. Bruce Lee was a personal friend of mine. Trained me in Tai Chi many, many years ago. I miss Bruce Lee. Kind of mad at Quentin Tarantino for his portrayal of Bruce Lee in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. If they really wanted to find out about Hollywood, they should have followed me around with my manager. Yes, my manager, Francesca. Oh, I wanted to mention to you, today on the show, I had a meeting scheduled, so it was already in the books, already there. And when Joel asked me to fill in, I said, well, I'm going to have to take time during the show and have a meeting with my manager, Francesca. But this is good news for you, because you will learn the ins and outs of Hollywood and how it works, because everyone wants to know. Oh my gosh, I got another super chat! That one came in quite quickly. Thank you, Camila Lopez. Camila Lopez is a big fan of the show, from what I understand. But now, some breaking news. Break glass. In emergency, break glass. Wait, let's see. Ticking coconut. We want an interview with Ben and Moose. Yes, Ben and Moose from Australia. My friends. I grew up, we went to different schools together. I'm like a hippo. I'm like a hippo. I'm a hippo too. Chat porn, what? That's terrible. Howdy, hoy, Joe. What the? Broke Joe's guitar. Oh. We're going to have to talk about that. I have to talk to Francesca about that. In the meantime, breaking news coming your way.
Hello, this is Todd Lee, reporting in live from Wailea in Maui. The sun is coming up, it's going to be a bright day, and I've discovered myself in the land of giants. I'm not sure where this came from, but they like the color pink, and they go by T. It's very confusing. Anyway, back to you, Joel.
Yes, Todd didn't know that I would be here today and not Joel. Kind of switched it up, didn't I? Yes, we have more breaking news too, because Todd Lee, distant cousin of Broncar Lee, had something to tell me today, and I just was so amazed by all of this. Oh, there's some very interesting chats come in. I don't know. It doesn't seem like the kind of chat that we're used to. Naked HD XYZ. What the heck is that? That's not beautiful. That was beautiful there in Maui. Oh, I wish that Todd Lee would have taken me to Maui. Maybe next time. Next time, we will go. All of us. Every hummingbird will go. But now I'm going to show you something that I think is really fascinating, if I can find it, because I don't know how any of this works. This is too hard, too difficult. Okay, so everyone knows birds aren't real. There's billboards, there's things informing us that the birds aren't real, and they have been replaced. And they've been trying to get the word out. This gentleman, Peter McIndoe, has been trying to get the word out, and Lunch Therapy has also been trying to. But the word is getting out. Yes, just Jay, the comedian. She told me, as did Todd Lee, so I think the word is spreading because it was on this show. Apparently in America, they have something called the NCAA, too many letters, and it's something about colleges and basketball. We don't really play basketball very much where I come from, but they play these basketball games. And in the game, somebody had a sign that said birds aren't real. Let's get a closer look there. Let's get a closer look there. Oh my God, look at that. Birds aren't real right behind the announcers. These fellows, they announce the games, and then right behind them, birds aren't real. So the word is getting out. The word is spreading. That's the thing about the truth. It spreads. Like a disease. But we wouldn't know about that. So, in fact, the Consumer U.S. Product Safety Commission, they, on their Twitter, they said birds are real. They're fighting back. The bird manufacturers are fighting back, I think. So it's getting to be a war. It's a war out there. So I'll have to put online my excursion to the Birds Aren't Real. It was incredible. And Birds Aren't Real says, we are here. We will not be silenced. We will not be silenced. Yes, so the word is really spreading. I don't know if any of you, I'm sure you all know because you watch Joel's show, and Joel talks about it incessantly. Just talks about it all the time. And that's because it's very important. Okay, so now we're moving on. Moving on to the next phase of the show. Oh, my appointment is almost coming up. I love the slogan of this show, Dare Mighty Things. That's what I do. I dare mighty things, like taking on an entire show, not knowing how to work any of this, not knowing anything, but I just dive in. I dare mighty things. I want to answer a few questions because I have to go meet with my manager, and I'm going to take you with me. And but I want to answer some questions from the mailbag. Yes, because people ask me questions all the time, and I don't have my new podcast yet, but I do have this. And so people are saying, Joel, why don't you have your signature eyeglasses, your sunglasses that you usually wear? And I say, because I broke them. I'd like to say Joel broke them, but actually I broke them. I was hungover one morning, and I got up too fast, and I stepped, and I was like, what is this, a mouse? And it was my glasses. My glasses are broken. Yes, so anyway, that's why the lens is coming out. If anybody knows a repairman, let me know. And then also, people ask me, Joe, why do you always wear the same shirt? And I think a lot of you know the answer to that question. I am influenced by Albert Einstein. Yes, Albert Einstein. Let me see what the comments are here. Man-made chicken. Save on airfare. Trying to figure out what part of the UK you're from. Northern Scottish or a mutt. I have my own accent. You know, I have been so many places in the world. So many places. I can't even get into it where I've lived. I've lived in multiple places. But I have acquired this accent, and it is all mine. It's all mine. So, if anybody wants to know. So that's another question that I've answered. Now I'm going to answer question number 3, which is about my shirt. And I don't know if you know, but Albert Einstein, one of my idols, he wore the same clothes every day. Every day he wore the same clothes. And I can't do that because I'm an international fashion model. So sometimes I have to wear other people's clothes. Other people, adorn me with their clothes. But when I have a choice, I always wear this shirt. And Steve Jobs and Einstein, they had multiple. You open their closet and Steve Jobs had all the same turtleneck. All the same turtleneck. And Albert Einstein had all the same suit. All the same suit. I open up my closet, I have one shirt. So you can imagine the aroma. But someday, I'm going to auction it off on eBay. Yes, I'd like to say that this shirt, by the way, was given to me by the lead singer of The Doors, Jim Morrison. I'd like to say that, but it's not true. Let's see what we have in the chat room here. Chats are just flying by. Save on airfare. Trying to figure out what... Oh, yes, we talked about that. Moin. Let's see, Todd Lee. Maybe it's caused by your unusually sized tongue and uvula. Yes, I do have that because I practiced so long to get this voice that I can do all kinds of accents and any kind of accent you want. All right, let's get on with this. This is my meeting. I have to go. I have to go out into the yard, and I have to meet with Francesca. She's a lovely woman. We'll see you there. We'll see you down by the pool.
I fear Joel Marshall is kind of mad at me.
Why? Because you keep ruining his show.
No! Don't ruin his show.
Oh, no. It's because your hair always looks so much better than his.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
No.
Oh. Because you impersonated him at the Oscars.
Stop it!
I should slap you.
No, because I was going to sing a song on lunch therapy and I dropped Joel's guitar.
The Mahogany Dreadnought?
Yes! Smashed it.
Sure.
But luckily I've taken it to Dave Neely.
Ah. Well then, Dave Neely, the master luthier.
Oh, how did you know that word?
My father made guitars.
Yes! Oh no, I thought you said he was a pimp.
Ah, that he was, and a damn good one too. But he also made guitars. They called him Luther the Luthier.
That's odd. Well, it's going to cost $400 for Dave to fix it.
God.
Thankfully, I have passive income streams like Creperies and My Phone and Fury, the international fragrance for questionable men.
Well, so here's the thing, and I've been meaning to speak to you about this, about the Crepe Erase. It's that they sued you because they said that you had absolutely no authority to run around talking about their product, and you actually caused their stocks to shoot to the ground like a stone.
I call fraud!
Well, listen to what I did. I took the money that we got for development for the My Phone, and I used it to pay off the Crepe Erase people and just stop that lawsuit cold in its tracks.
Okay, so what about the Fury fragrance?
Yes, well, there's that whole toxic masculinity thing being out of fashion at the moment. Hopefully it'll come back. But for right now, I've got a garage full of pallets of the stuff. It's this musky stench.
Well, you're my manager. Get me a job, stat!
Oh, Joe, I've told you so many. I can't get you a job in America because you haven't got American credits.
What are you talking about? I've got over 30 major motion pictures under my belt.
You do?
Oh, and I've got some movies coming out, too. What do we have here? Oh, Parasite. That was a good one. And, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I loved that film. Leonardo DiCaprio, he's my favorite.
You're a very special man. That's why I'm so afraid to represent you.
Yeah. Well, I'm afraid that I'm going to have to hit the road again. Yes, make money with my raw talent.
Great idea. Hit the road, get out of town, far away.
No, here in town. I'm going to hit the streets. I'm going to start busking again.
Oh, Joe. I don't think you want to do that. You know, the people really don't like you. Remember that.
But this time will be different. This time I'm going to make them love me. I'm going to make them love me. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. I'm gonna make them love me.
Whoa, yes, he will. Yes, I will.
I'm gonna make them love me.
Ooh. Yes, he will. Yes, he will.
Either that or I'm gonna get a job at Starbucks.
Ooh.
Yes.
I love a good latte.
Free lattes for everyone.
Lovely. There's one right down the street, actually.
There is. I frequent there often. With Joel's Starbucks card.
I'm gonna make you love me. Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
Well, there you have it. That was a meeting, a secret clandestine meeting between me and my agent Francesca Egertonsson. And now we're going to go to the bat, who's going to tell you about koala bears. Although I don't think he's qualified. Thank you very much there for that joke. Yes, that was a joke told to us by a hummingbird. Yes, a hummingbird named Greg Woodler. So, let's get on with the show. Koala bears.
Hello, I am the Bat, and I am here today sitting in for Joel to tell you about koala bears. Yes, koala bears. This is a therapy session. I'm not a licensed therapist by any means, but I hang around with some of them, and I've learned a lot. And one of the things that I've learned is that animals are very therapeutic. So on the show, we just breathe and we look at some animals. Today we're going to look at the incredible koala bear, which is not a bear at all, if you can believe it. They're not bears. I thought they were, and no one ever told me they weren't, and apparently they are marsupials. Marsupials, just like the kangaroo and the, I don't know what other... are there other marsupials you can think of? There's probably, they're very cuddly though. They're very cuddly. And the word koala, the word is a word that does not mean cuddly. No. The word koala bear, does anybody know in the chat room what it means? It means, most of my friends are animals, real animals. The cute butt. Yes, they have a very cute butt. It's padded with some kind of padding that they have for their butt, because it turns out that koala bears, they sleep a lot. They sleep up to 20 hours a day. 20 hours a day, if you can believe it. It's crazy how long they sleep. And the word koala comes from a word that means no water at all, because they drink very little water, because the water that they get is from the leaves that they eat exclusively eucalyptus leaves, and eucalyptus leaves, strangely enough, are poisonous to bats and many other animals, including humans. Like if you were to drink a bunch of eucalyptus oil, you would not find that you had supple skin. You might find that you're dead. Yeah. So that's the thing, and they eat the leaves that nobody wants, and nobody can digest, and the leaves are not very nutritional to anyone, not even to the koala bears, but they eat so many of them and they have special stomachs. So we as bats or as humans, we have special stomachs too, but they have a special part of their stomach where the leaves ferment. They ferment in there, and they help them digest. Not only that, but the koala bear, when it is born, and they are not very social creatures, by the way. They spend so much time sleeping that they're not really hanging out playing Parcheesi or any of the other games that other animals play. Reindeer games. They don't play any reindeer games. They don't play anything. They don't even hang out with other koalas most of the time. They just hang out by themselves. But they're very attached to their mothers. Yes. So when they're born, they then are born a little tiny little koala bear, and they get right into the pocket of their mothers. They're right in their pocket. And then the mother, she secretes a kind of, it's almost poop. And they at the very end, they eat it, or they drink it, or they do some kind of ingesting of it. And that gets in their gut. You know, the healthy people, they're always talking about their gut. Well, it's because of this kind of thing. It gets in their gut and stays there, and it helps them digest the eucalyptus leaves, this bacteria in their gut that they got from their mother. So that's, something they should thank their mother on Mother's Day. I'll tell you that. Although I didn't know eucalyptus was venomous. Yes, it's not exactly venomous. It's just, well, maybe it is. Maybe it is a kind of a venom. So because they eat eucalyptus leaves, they stay up in the trees all day, they sleep, they have the padding on their butt, so it's not so bad. They've got very interesting claws. They got 2 thumbs. 2 thumbs to wrap around the tree, and then they've got a finger that's 2 fingers that are fused. And you know why that's fused? Anyone in the chat room can guess? Their fingers are fused so they can comb their hair. They're very vain, like Joe Fury, very, very vain creatures. And they have the big long noses, and they're cute as can be. So that is the koala bear. There's more to it. Not only do they have 2 thumbs, but they have 2 other something in their nether regions. They have 2 of those too. Yes, the women and the men. They have 2. I'm not getting into this because this is a family show. They have extra fluid in their brain so that when they fall out of the tree, yes, Chuck, great stunt doubles, because they fall out and their brains are fine. Bat, your accent is in and out. Could be the length of time you've been spending in Austin under the bridge. How did you know I was in Austin? Wow, that's so weird. So people are tracking me. I think they can track me on my phones. Maybe it's the birds. The birds are tracking me, and they see me. No way. How do they know they're vain? They know because they have the fused finger, 2 fingers, and they comb their hair. It's really to get out the crap. It's kind of like lunch therapy. It removes the crap from your day. I don't understand that. They have 2 what? They have 2. They have a bifurcated member. Look that up yourself. I'm sure you can find all kinds of information on it. They have a bifurcated member, and the women, they have 2 spaces for it. So there you have it. They're very itchy, like all animals are very itchy. And so this has been koala bears. If there are any questions in the chat room, I know a lot of koala bears because some of my friends are, even though they don't have friends. I am such a charismatic bat, and I like to hang out. I am a very charismatic bat, and I like to hang out with the koala bears and pick up their accents. So, I am the bat, and this is the bat thing, and it's very difficult. It's very difficult to do this show when you're not Joel Marshall. Joel Marshall, he just makes it easy. Koalas aren't bears. They don't meet the qualifications. There we go. That's the big joke. I love the joke. It's a good one. They aren't bears. Okay, well, let's move on. Let's give this show back to Joe. And perhaps he has maybe one more thing, and then we'll end it on a great dance break. So, here we go. Moving along. Here's a commercial for his fragrance.
Lunacy by Joe Fury. It's madness. Lunacy.
Did I? I'm back. I'm back. I'm totally back. Okay. I was trying to get a hold of you because I'm back. It took me a long time to get up there from the pool. I was down there getting some sunshine. But then I realized I'm extremely pale and I don't need that much sunshine. I'm like the koala bear. I like to sleep. I like to stay out of the sun. Let's see. This is madness. So that's my cologne. It's actually called Lunacy. Lunacy. Not Fury at all. I forgot what it was called. I feel like I'm in a glitch in the Matrix. A glinch. A glinch. When the Glinch stole Christmas. You typed it right. I read it wrong. But anyway, so good to be here in this cozy little place with my friend. This is my friend. He is he's not alive anymore. I have a lot of friends who are not alive. It's like that show on television with the ghosts. Oh, I think it's called Ghosts, perhaps. Like the movie, we make pots, we make ceramics, and love one another. Yes, this is Saul B. Newton. He was a veteran of the Spanish Civil War. He founded the Sullivan Research Institute in 1957 with his wife, Jane Pierce. He influenced some people to start their own cult, and it was called the Sylvanian cult. Sylvanian, named after him. Yes. No, I'm not. I'm sorry, it's me that's... Don't know what you're talking about in the chat room there. Ghost in the machine. Did something happen while I was gone, while I was coming back up? I know the bat was taking over the show. Did he do a good job? I hope so. So, anyway, this guy, Sullivan, he had, very into therapy, like in lunch therapy. And there were some people who went to his institute, the Sullivan Research Institute, and they were very interested in Mr. Henry Stack Sullivan. And, I don't know who Saul B. Newton is. My facts are so off. Joel asked me to talk about this polymorphous cult. And it was basically a sex cult. Yes, that's what happened. Because this guy, Mr. Sullivan, he believed that the family was the cause of the nuclear family was the cause of everybody's social, psychological problems. So what he decided was that he'd get rid of it. That we should just get rid of it. Just have a polyamorous commune therapy center. So the people that, took this to heart, they started their own. And most people, when they start cults, they start them in, far off, foreign places. Let's see here. He has no idea. He played a commercial multiple times in a row. It seemed mad. Madness! So yes, this was long before where there was social distancing. When there was no social distancing, they started this cult. And it was in the 60s. And you know how the 60s were? Everyone was running around like crazy people doing whatever the heck they wanted to. And so they had this cult in the middle of Manhattan. Yes, right there in the middle of New York City. They were very insular because they had rules. No one could pair up. This was not, by now, Mr. Sullivan, he was not there at all. They had their own thing going. And they had sex with one another. Yes, it's terrible to talk about this in the middle of the day, but it's such a cozy little cult corner that we're in. So he had this weird sex cult. They had these sex cults, and they just, no one could really pair up with anyone because they might, even if they had children, because when you have sex, you have children. Even if they have children, the children would be sent away because they didn't want to mess with their psychological makeup by giving them a nuclear family to take care of them. So they go off with their caretakers. Parents could only visit for 1-2 hours a day. And in the 70s, it became stricter. Yes. Apparently, the leader of the cult found a new wife. And she was a soap opera actress, so he wanted to start a theater company. So they took over someone else's theater company. This is a crazy story, Joel. I don't know why I'm telling it. Anyway, they took over this theater. They went in there and threw the actors out. They started their own. And then they started to get paranoid. Anyway, I'll let you read about this because this is the stupidest story that I've ever seen, Joel Marshall. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. All right, let's get on with the show because it's time for a dance break. Let's get on with it. Okay. First of all, I want to say thank you all for being here for my second hosting of Lunch Therapy. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I hope you've learned something. Probably not from Cult Corner, because that was just crap. That was one of the crappiest segments ever. Joe seems like he's wearing shoes. If I had a camera that could reach down and show you my shoeless feet, I would. But I don't. I don't have that today. I just have... you're just going to have to believe me. How can you prove that you have bare feet? You can't, unless you show them, I guess. Joe, where can I get a 5-gallon pail of lunacy? I want to spray it all over the 3rd and Pine in Seattle. PU! Yes, that might help. It might, I'll hook you up, probably at Costco. They probably have it at Costco. Let's see what else is happening here. This cult sounds awful. It was terrible, and it was a terrible rendition of the cult. We'll have to do, maybe Joe will tell you more about that cult some other day, but I had no idea, and it was shocking to me. It was shocking. That cult sounds exhausting. Sometimes you just want to get some sleep, but no, it's just sex, sex, sex. And then the kids come along, and the Thump Theater Company, and the mutiny, and they tried to burn the place down. It's a crazy story. Probably would make a good movie. What happened with the acting cult? Well, you know what happened is the lead guru died eventually. Show us your feet. Okay, I'm going to have to show you my feet. All right. Yeah, so he died. The main guy died. And, these things disband. Okay. Ah! They're filthy! They're filthy feet! Yes, are you happy now? I've shown you my feet. All right, now we've done everything we can do today. Let's get on with our day, but first, I want to share something that I found. A dance break. Don't pull your hammy. I already pulled my hammy a long time ago. It never fixed itself. Playing volleyball in the sand. Never do that. Never do that. Here we go. Dance time. Okay, this is a beautiful performer. Performing one of my favorite songs. Her name is Delana. I found her on the web. And she's a big, very, very famous singer now. So I thought she was mine. Playing this. But I was talking about that. Joe talks throughout the thing. To play this, but I'm doing it anyway because I love it.
Lousy lover, we're gonna break.
Well, is it over now? Do you know how?
Don't mind us, Joe. Switch it out. All right, everyone. See you Friday.